As much as I was excited for the Beneil Dariush versus Islam Makhachev fight, I'm actually as excited, or maybe even more excited, than the Bobby Green Islam fight. So it's actually funny because I like the swagger and the confidence and the grit that Bobby brings. I love Beneil Dariush, but they would definitely be like hugging each other at the weigh-ins, the weigh-in face-offs, instead of actually like Bobby Green really going out there. So first of all, I just want to say both these guys look in absolutely incredible shape. And Bobby Green had that 5 pound ounce, obviously, and he just came in like a stud coming in at 158. So that's super impressive right there. He said he like cut like 30 pounds or some insane amount in a few weeks. So all the credit to Bobby Green. I mean, this is kind of like a can't lose situation for Bobby, but again, you look at this, guys. I really recommend everyone. About a year ago, they put a UFC Origins, something like UFC Origin story about Bobby Green. Watch that, man. If you don't have emotion in you, then you're a rock. After watching that, I mean, the guy is inspirational. I love this guy. I love to root for him. If you watch, what he was saying, about his adopted father and just his history, man, the guy is tough as nails, and I absolutely love this guy. He has swagger, such an athlete. I love that little dive he does when he goes into the octagon. I love that when he spits that water out. What an awesome guy. And it's funny, like it's almost like he's hitting his peak now I believe at the age of 35. So he's been fighting for a while. He started off as a ground and pounder because he was a very successful wrestler, and then now he has that slick, almost beautiful counter-striking style. Almost uses like that shoulder roll like Mayweather with his hands down. Beautiful. He just put on a clinic against his most recent fight. Oh my God, I'm forgetting the guy who trains with Firas Zahabi. Oh my God, doesn't matter. But yeah, you guys get the idea. He just put on an absolute clinic. I didn't like that the other guy kind of accepted his tempo. He could have went for a takedown, especially training with Firas Zahabi. He probably has some solid takedowns, but still, Bobby Green. He probably would have defended it. Now the question is he going to be able to stop Islam's takedowns? This fight might look like kind of like Khabib versus Justin Gaethje. Maybe if Islam can be as persistent. Although Islam has been knocked out before, so people forget about this. Islam is an amazing fighter, incredible fighter. And both these guys came in tremendous freaking shape. Islam appears to be kind of bigger. It looks like he cuts a lot of weight, so you got to be careful with that chin, especially Bobby. He did knock out Al Iaquinta, a tough fighter who, again, Khabib wasn't able to finish him, With that being said, I do think that the Islam, the odds, so I know they opened out like minus 1,000. Then they went down to like minus 750 for Islam. And now I'm seeing minus 800 for Islam, plus 550 for Bobby. So I would be careful with this fight. So first of all, there's no way you should grab Islam at minus 800. I think it's just stupidity. I'll tell you guys why. Minus 800 is way too risky. As much as I love Islam, it's too risky. If you're going to bet on Islam, you got to take him by submission at minus 110. That's the most likely scenario. Or if you think that Bobby can survive, plus 330. But I think if Bobby survives, I don't know. I feel like he can win. I feel like, Islam could keep taking Bobby Green down, but I feel like if Islam is able to settle himself down on top of Bobby Green and Bobby Green is not able to get up, then I think that he's going to win by submission. I guess it's possible he wins by, grounding pounding him. So, I would say, yeah, but honestly, you got to pick a manner of victory. I could see, but most likely it's going to be a submission. If it's going to be, I don't see him, he's more of a slick submission specialist than a KO, TKO, DQ guy. So is Khabib, if you really look at it. He does a lot of ground and pound, but most of his finishes are with the rear naked choke. So he makes fighters, beats the crap out of them on the ground, then kind of makes them lose their will, and then he finishes them. But Bobby is not a guy who's going to lose his will. So just keep that in mind. He may find himself in a shitty position where, he'll be forced to tap, but this guy's not going to lose his will. So if you like Islam, bet him by submission. Do not pay minus 800 for it. Again, just avoid having these huge lines. Avoid these huge lines. Listen, and again, I'm not the only person who says this. You don't take my word for it. Take a lot of professional bettors. They'll avoid these huge lines. I know that there's guys in Vegas who go out and put like $1 million on Islam just to make like 125,000 back. And again, the problem with that is you have to be right 10 freaking times in order to cover your $1,000,000. Are you going to be right 10 times? Again, we've seen crazy things happen in the sport. So my advice is, if you're going to bet Islam, please bet him by. I would say the best play is by submission. I think that's the play. Now, for those who want to bet Bobby Green, again, Bobby Green's not going to win by submission. Who knows? Like sometimes I'll say that, like there's no way someone's going to win, but I just don't see it possible unless Islam gasses out. I guess you could bet him by KO, TKO, DQ, which is again, but a lot of times he'll just outslick people. I guess he could win by decision. Most likely, Bobby is going to win. If he's going to win this fight, he's going to win by KO, TKO, DQ, especially it's a short notice fight. He may have to kind of blow his wad early on and see if he can get Islam out of there, and especially Islam's been knocked out before. It's going to be hard to see him win by decision. He's going to have to stuff a lot of takedowns. So I'd say most likely the scenario is, Islam by submission or Bobby by KO, TKO, DQ. So if you're feeling ballsy, you can do Bobby Green to win by KO, TKO, DQ, and maybe or Islam to win by submission, or you can do a little hedge bet where obviously you put enough to equal out the numbers where you'll win the same amount. You'll make sure that basically you'll win the same amount if you you can level it out to bet Islam by submission and Bobby Green by KO, TKO, DQ. I think that's if you want to do that, you want to cover a lot of your bases. Obviously, you're going to have to pay a little bit of a price for that. So Islam by submission right now is -110. Bobby Green is plus 1,200. So you're probably going to have like a payout of, I think it's going to end up being like -150 or minus 200 altogether. Because again, since you're trying to cover two bases, so your total odds is going to be like, if one wins or the other one wins, it's going to be, I think, -150 or minus 200. I'm estimating. I think it's going to be closer to -150 because considering Bobby's like plus 1,200. That's one way I would look at it. The other play I would consider, I like the under 2.5, especially you're getting even odds, -115 on the under 2.5. I think that's the play to make. I think that, again, it's possible that Islam dominates and drowns him with the grappling later on. It's possible that Bobby, stuffs the takedown. I mean, it's going to be unlikely unless Islam gasses out and wins a decision. I just see that Bobby's going to go for broke, or I think if Islam finishes, I think Islam either, takes out Bobby early with a submission, or, Bobby can catch him with a knockout. Obviously, it seems like it's going to be more likely that Islam wins by that submission, but I like that under 2.5. I think that's my favorite play. But again, I offered you guys a couple other plays. So whichever one you fancy, again, both these guys look great. Both these guys have confidence. Both these guys are amazing. One thing to keep in mind is Khabib's fighter in Bellator recently lost to the guy who Anthony Pettis beat, former champion, and who Michael Chandler knocked out. Benson Henderson, the guy with the giant calves. But so keep that in mind. Although I did feel like that guy did beat Benson Henderson. Again, that might be a sign. Maybe some of the Khabib's fighters are kind of vulnerable. Again, not reading too much into it, but just kind of throwing that out there. Doesn't mean crap. I mean, Henry Cejudo, he had Paulo Costa lose and Weili Zhang lose, and now people are saying he's the coach of the year because he had Davison Figueiredo win in a great fight. So just keep that in mind. Hope you guys are able to take advantage of that, and please like and subscribe. And I appreciate all the support. Thanks.